How to set up a bass guitar, bass beginner lesson, step one. So today we're going to talk about how to set up your bass guitar, and I'm going to start off with just a simple procedure you can do that's subjective to you to how you like your bass to be set up. But today we're going to talk about action. And what is action? It is the how high your strings are from your fretboard, either a high, low action, mid-range action, whichever. That's your action, is how high your strings are to that fretboard here. Now, how do you make that adjustment? It's simple, and I'll get into that in a minute. But talking a little more about action and why we adjust the action, the reasoning behind it, is because we all don't play the bass the same way. We're not all looking for the same sounds, same tones, or we've got different muscles that we've developed and everything else. Each bass is unique. Each bass player is unique in itself. So that's why we need to make these adjustments. And so there's no one size fits all. So that's why I show you the techniques of how to do this. And if you haven't subscribed yet to iwannaplaybass.com, I've got a free ebook there that breaks it all down, how to make all these adjustments to setting your bass up. So jump over there, subscribe, get your free ebook on how to set your bass up. It's the whole kit and caboodle there. But today we're just talking about the action alone. And setting up your action is totally subjective to you. It's how you like it, or what sounds you prefer to have. Now, like James Jamerson, he said he liked his action high. He liked the tone that he got from a higher action, higher string on his fretboard. He liked that. Where me, I'm more of a mid-range, lower, closer to the lower side action. I'm not fond of the high action, but people are out there that like that. Like I said, James Jamerson, the godfather of bass. Check him out. A lot of great stuff came from that man. Definitely somebody you want to follow and see how he played, because he's inspired thousands of bass players. If there's a professional bassist out there, they know who James Jamerson is, and they probably have followed his style and research and did some study on his style for sure. James Jamerson, check him out. And like I said, high action, but he just liked that tone he got from that higher action, in which it affects your tone on how your actions are set. And that's why your action isn't just the feel of your playing, it's also the tone of your playing. So how we do this is we take it simply on our bridge saddles. So simply your bridge saddles, these right here, the string comes in through your bridge, this big piece here, and then your saddles are located there. And there will be small screws, or however your instrument's made, but the majority of them just have little tiny screws with a Phillips head, with an Allen wrench head in there, that you just adjust. You raise it up or you lower it. This is probably the easiest adjustment you can make on your bass that's going to give a big difference to your sound. So that's all you're doing, is you're raising it up. If you screw it down, and it lifts the saddle up. See, so if you go down, you tighten the screw down, it'll lift the saddle up, okay? And that's raising your string up. Now when you do this, when you raise your string up or lower your string, there's some things you've got to be aware of. There's a lot of fret noise if you've got a lower action. A higher action is just harder. It takes a lot more muscle and tension to get your strings to fret that note. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind when you do this. You can't just go for a low action and go as low as you can, because you've got to fine tune it. You've got to fine tune everything. It's trial and error. So like I said, I'm about a low, mid-range kind of guy, and James Jamerson, he was a high. He was up there. But the difference is a lower, if you want to go play faster, then lower your action. It's going to be more, it's going to be easier to play faster with a lower action than it is if you've got a high action. But if you want a deeper tone, you want to go ahead and go with a higher action. Keep your string further away from the pickup, is going to get more of the deeper tones from there. And I think that's what James Jamerson was going for, that bassier tone, so he kept his action higher. So that's what you're going to get when you adjust your action higher or lower, it's going to affect your tone as well. And a lower action is going to be a little more brighter, and it's going to be a quicker. You're going to be able to play a little quicker. The string, it's easier to fret the note when the string is right there. When it's higher, it takes a little more effort to get that note fretted. But that's what it is. So when you lower, so you just lower your bridge saddle, just tighten the nut or loosen it, whichever way. If you're going lower, back it out a little bit, and that brings that saddle down, and then that brings it closer. Now you want to keep in mind your pickups, because once you go too low, it's going to affect your distance, how you have your pickups laid out, and I'll get into that a little more, setting up your pickups, which is a big difference as well. You don't want to just, you want to keep an eye on it, that your pickups are, kind of even across the string with the string as you lower it or higher it or raise it. So that's, something else to keep in mind. So the lower it is, the little brighter of a tone you're going to get, and that's going to make a big difference to what you're going for. If you want that, kind of like a solo basis, you want a little brighter sound than if you're just a solid just a bottom end man, then you could raise it up to get a little toner, a little deeper tone. So that's how that affects your tones and everything else, is how high it is. If it's further away from that pickup, it's a deeper tone. The closer you are to that pickup, you can get a brighter tone. But if you go low, you can adjust your pickup lower to take it away from your string so it's not right on top of it. So you can make that adjustment. You're kind of limited if you go too low, so you've got to tweak it a lot. You got to do a lot of tweaking. You got to find your cup of tea, and that's what you're going for. So that's what you got to do. So it's all subjective to you. So that's one of the easiest adjustments you can do, that you have to do to set your bass up to you, so it's it plays like you want it to play. But there's a lot more other adjustments to make to really fine tune it to you. But that's going to be the easiest one. Go ahead, hit your bridge saddle. Get your bridge saddles, your 5-string, 6-string. There'll be 6. How many strings you have? Each string has its own separate bridge saddle. Okay, so you just lower it or you raise it, depending on what you want. But check it out. Like I said, if you go too low, you're going to get a lot of fret buzz, a lot of rattles that you might not want, that you're not too fond of. Lower the strings for the lower action, and raise them if you like a higher action, a deeper tone. Maybe, what works good is pick players usually have a higher action, because it still keeps that deeper tone. Where you're using a pick, it has a tendency to make that sound a little brighter. So if you raise the action, then you've still got the deep tone, and that pick's not taking all the credit for your sound. You're able to control your sound a little more with a higher action using a pick. So it just depends on how your style of playing, what you prefer, where you want to go. You got to figure that out on your own, where you want to go with this, or what you want to do. So it's definitely something, like I said, over and over, is subjective to you. So figure out what it is that you want to do, and go with it. Gotta have that coffee. Good stuff. And so that's setting up your bass guitar. That's just your action alone, and that's going to make a big difference in your playing and how you play it and how you learn it. So that's a fun one with me. That was like the first one that I ever learned how to make that adjustment, and figured that out in the very beginning what to do. But there's a lot more. There's neck relief to do. There's actually fine tuning to do, which is still messing with your bridge saddles, but you've got a different technique to move that around. The distance is what we're dealing with then, and fine tuning is distances. But and I mean, this distance is also with the action higher or lower, but distance is this difference. This distance here from fine tuning, and action is the distance here, from here to there. So that is your action, and I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, hit that like button. Help me help you, and become a patron. Check out my Patreon page. and jump over there. Lots of good stuff there also. Lots of good just not just bass stuff, but stuff, just good well-being stuff that that's good to have and good to know, that helps you improve a lot better in just a lot other ways than just sitting there and practicing, just nailing it, just driving it home all the time. There's other things you can do to help quicken the process. So jump over there, check out that patreon.com / I want to play bass. Hit that. There'll be a link down here below. I'll leave a link down here for you to check out. And jump over to iwanttoPlayBass.com. Get that free ebook. It's right there. Just hit that pop up. Just put in your email stuff. I've got a lot more videos and stuff like that. More tips that I've got. Anything good coming up, I always send out to my email list, and that's what you'll be a part of then. Just hit that and get that free ebook also. And so subscribe here, hit that bell notification, get in the loop, and don't miss a beat. So I'll see y'all next time. I'll catch y'all on the flip-flop in the next video. Bye now.